Shawn McAnalley here with Dr. Bill McAnalley, Chief Science Officer of Aroga. He is going to answer a question he gets asked all the time. And really what it is a comparison between drugs and foods. People, it's almost like it's probably all the commercials we see and everything else, but we all seem to have this drug mindset when it comes to helping our bodies. So Dr. Bill's going to kind of explain the difference between the two, and I hope you guys can get some knowledge out of this and just kind of see the difference, if you will. Dr. Bill?
Hey, I put the steps up here that you have to go through to get a drug approved. And it's interesting, that people are so used to hearing placebo-controlled, double-blind studies, and they did 20,000 patients. And what's interesting is that's really means if you have to do a lot of patients, means it's not a very good drug and it's probably not very safe. Like a good drug, for example, is penicillin. If someone comes in and they have gonorrhea, the patient knows he has gonorrhea. The doctor can tell he's got the organism. He gives him a shot of penicillin and it's all gone. So that's 100%. Most drugs only do a little help.
Okay.
And that's why they have to do so many patients, because you have to do a lot of patients if it does just a little bit.
Gotcha.
And I was going to I've put up the steps. First, the first thing you have to do is meet with the FDA chemist. Because if you don't start with the purest form of your drug, you'll have to start all over again. And this is millions and millions of dollars. So you get in your clinical trials and he says, oh, this drug wasn't very pure, and you got to start all over again. So first you have to satisfy the chemist that it's as pure as is technically possible at this time. Then, if he doesn't think it is, he may say, well, did you try this method or that method for purification? And you have to do it and show him it made it better or didn't. So once he's satisfied it's as pure as it can be, then you can start the preclinical studies. That's tissue culture, the animal safety studies. And all drugs have an LD50. That's the lethal dose that kills half the mice. Foods don't have LD50s. You don't say, well, how much of this milk can you drink? Before it kills you.
Oh, man.
And so those are things you have to determine for a drug. And by definition, number one, a drug is something other than a food or food component that affects your physiology. So since it's not a food or food component, it may or may not be safe. And most of them are. Like I've seen statistics where 1 in 60,000 possible new drugs actually get to the market. And then after they're on the market, because of toxicity that they didn't see for a while, that's what stage 4 is for. Phase 4 is when you follow up with people taking the drug and you see what are the long-term effects. It may knock out their kidneys, may knock out their liver. So then in that case, the drug's pulled. So drugs and food are completely different. A drug is a single pure entity where they guarantee how much you're getting is pure and it's going to be an effective dose. Now, after you do phase 1, 2, and 3, and 4 trials, phase 1, you determine the highest dose you can give to healthy people. Phase 2, you determine the best dose. Phase 3, you have to do 2 randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies where the drug, when you break the code, the drug is 95% confident, or you have a 0.05 probability that the drug didn't cause the effect. I like to think of it in a positive way, and you're 95% sure the drug had an effect. But if you do 2 studies separate, and both of them are 0.05 or better, that means there's 1 in 400 chance that the drug didn't cause that effect. Then you can start to market it. But depending on what toxicities they saw during that time, they'll make you, if it's hurting the liver, if it's hurting whatever, hurting your eyes, then you have to follow up phase 4. And the more concerned FDA is, the more and the longer you'll have to follow it up. So that's why a lot of drugs have been out for 5 years and they get pulled.
Mm. They have long-term bad effects.
That's right.
So their effects are worse than what they're helping.
That's right.
Gotcha.
That's where, cancer drugs, if most cancer drugs cause cancer. It's just that you already got cancer and you're going to be dead in 6 months, where this cancer drug might cause a different cancer 10 years later.
I got you.
So,
the lesser of the 2 evils.
that's right. Those are the 2 evils.
Got you.
So, food approval, foods are considered safe. Food supplements are considered safe. So you don't have to do all those safety studies and everything. You don't have to see how much a healthy person can eat.
Mm-hmm.
And the big problem is you're never going to get through that first chemist because it has a lot of ingredients and they are different concentrations. Food tastes different all the time. I mean, 2 different pieces of food taste different.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. You can take 2 different tomatoes and be a little bit different, what they got in them.
And they have many, many ingredients.
Yeah.
But, so, what FDA lets us do is they let us provide educational materials that's truthful, balanced, that people can rely on. And what I like is, I like PubMed articles because they come from the National Library of Medicine, and that's sponsored by NIH, they fund it, and they only let articles on there they consider truthful, fair, and balanced. Mm-hmm. So it meets the qualification. Mm-hmm. So I'll show a lot of articles to support, what the foods may do. Now, foods are designed to keep you healthy and make you stay healthy. And that's the big difference. I know I isolated the active ingredient in aloe, mannan, and the next step they wanted the LD50. Mm-hmm. Well, we couldn't kill a rat or a mouse or anything. Mm-hmm. So finally, I got a call and we killed a rat. Mm-hmm. Well, then they do an autopsy to see what he died from. Mm-hmm. Well, his stomach blew up because they put so much in there, he just exploded.
Yeah, that much water would have killed him.
Yeah, that much water was in there. Yeah. So, there's a big difference in food and drugs. Sometimes, just 3 or 4 pills of drug can kill you.
Right.
And you can eat as much food as you want. So that's the difference. So when people ask me, where are your placebo-controlled studies, one thing I know for sure, they don't know anything about FDA approval.
Right. No, that makes complete sense, and that's not what it's about. It's about what effect did the person get from it.
That's right.
How did it help this person?
Yeah.
So asking for that's just asking for a bunch of extra steps that aren't even needed and necessary. Right.
So that's what I wanted to.
Well, that's good. That's great. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that sheds a little light on a lot of questions we get asked. Stay tuned for in the future because Dr. Bill's going to go over what a lot of foods do and how they can help our bodies to naturally help themselves to be healthy and just not get sick in the first place. And if we do so happen to get that way, how these foods can direct our bodies to repair themselves. Okay, guys? This is for the health of it.